Today, we're going to be talking about mindfulness and meditation and how they are actually mind body strategies. Now, I understand that you could have been incredibly frustrated in the past, or maybe you're practicing already and at a standstill, and you just feel like maybe mindfulness nor meditation is right for you, that in some way it works for other people, but not for you. And today, my intention is to give you tips and strategies to incorporate them into your life in ways that are very doable. And that I feel that even if you try them today, you're going to see an instant result. If you're new to me, my name is Michele Paiva, and I'm a licensed psychotherapist, and I'm certified in stress and the relaxation response through Massachusetts General Hospital, Department of Psychiatry. I'm also a practicing Buddhist, and I have 30 years experience in helping individuals to get past whatever's holding them back into a place of more positive mindfulness and learning meditation strategies that help build their resilience and even get them past some trauma. So first, let's talk about mind-body medicine. It's the focus of the interactions among the brain, the mind, the body, behavior, and it's super powerful. So it incorporates the emotional, mental, spiritual, social, and even behavioral factors that can directly affect your health. It's pretty groundbreaking and yet it's ancient. So I love it because it really is useful to treat a variety of struggles that you might have. So it can definitely, of course, address stress, which is depression and pain and disordered eating and hypertension, hot flashes. I mean, so much, right? Also, quality of life. It really helps to improve the quality of life. So maybe you have panic disorder, or you struggle with insomnia, or some addictions like smoking, or maybe even different types of dysfunction that impact your relationship. And when usually people are stressed out, they notice how they feel, but they also notice how they feel when they are in positive meditation and soon after how they feel. And the reports are that there is a sense of calm, of well being that extends way beyond the time spent actually in mindfulness or meditation. They feel that they have a much more increased capacity to handle difficult situations, emotions, and difficult people. And a lot of people say that they have more memory, more energy, and more attention. They are able to focus more. So I do want you to understand that while a lot of meditation and mindfulness is seen as very passive and still, that all of it is a very active mental process and it involves intention and focus and attention. But that doesn't mean you have to struggle through it, okay? It is about letting go of everyday thoughts, but it doesn't mean being mindless or empty of mind. So if you've been told in the past that you had monkey mind or something like that, I don't want you to worry because having a lot of thoughts while you're in mindfulness and meditation is normal. It means you're human. So you can chant through it, you can mantra through it, you can visualize, you can practice yoga, walking, breathing, anything really that may be incorporated into it. You can make it your own. And that's what I'm going to teach you today, how to do that. Also, different than physical exercise, which has usually a top and end result, it's really about the process. So the process of mindfulness and meditation has a lot of the benefit. You can exercise mindfully though, so you can add exercise to your meditation and mindfulness. So what we do is we look for the common pathway between the mind-body, and we look at how the mind-body is connected with stress. And we know that there is a stress response characterized by the sympathetic overdrive. So that's where you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling maybe angry, fearful, anxious. There's a lot of different conflicting, confusing feelings that you might have, but overall, you're just not feeling good. Then we have the relaxation response. That's actually a state, and that is elicited by the mind-body technique, which is a series of techniques. It's characterized by decreased oxygen consumption, decreased heart rate, and decreased respiratory rate, which does offset all of the stress response. Now, understand when I say decreased oxygen consumption, I don't mean that you're going to be taking in less oxygen. I mean that you're going to be taking in the same or more oxygen, but you're not going to use it towards, focusing on stress or the stress response in your body. So what happens is that oxygen is now there to cleanse and to heal the body, not to just play catch up, okay? And having a decreased heart rate, what I mean by that is that you're going to even out and more balance your heart rate statistically when you start being more mindful and being more focused on meditation. And the problem that I do have with the word mindful is that it elicits the kind of idea that you're mindless right now or you're not doing something right. And what mindfulness is really is being very aware of the present moment and being very comfortable in the present moment. So as I'm saying the word mindful, I don't want you to get a negative response that there's something, inherently wrong with you in some way, because that's not the case at all. So to get started, I want to talk about different ways that you can incorporate mindfulness and meditation into your life that's not just about sitting down with your legs crossed and feeling stressed that you're not getting to some enlightened guru state, okay? So you can do movement mindfulness, and practices that are mindful and movement focused are mindful walking. So one example of this is just getting up and being in your home and taking a slow walk around your home and really trying to not get distracted by what you have to do, what you have to clean, what you want to pick up, or a book that you see, or your phone, or whatever. Just getting up and mindfully, intentionally, and slowly walking through your home. This could be 30 seconds, it could be 5 minutes, it could be a half an hour, but being very mindful. Mindful walking is best outside, but you might not be able to do that right now. Or maybe it's snowing, or maybe it's raining, and you don't want to go outside. So incorporating mindful walking or any mindful movement like yoga or any exercise that you can be very mindful within and very intentional is going to be a great way to add mindfulness and even a moving meditation to your life. Of course, there's silence. So the silence aspect is the sitting, maybe cross-legged or laying down on a couch or a bed or even on a yoga mat, and just being with yourself and being very focused on just silence. Even listening to music or a guided relaxation is going to be more of a silent mindfulness or a silent movement. Then we have generative. Generative is where you are praying or creating an art. So that's where there's a very focused intention in what you're doing and an outcome. So the prayer might have an outcome of being more faithful, or the art is enjoying the process of the art as well as the end result. Then we have ritual. Rituals are not just about doing things repetitively, but they're also about building a sacred space in your home. Now, I'm not saying that you need to build a sacred space that is specifically, a temple or an altar or anything really very specific even. But I'm saying if you walk by a closet and you know it's messy and you start to clean that closet, and then, every couple of months, maybe you go back to that closet and clean it again, that's actually creating a sacred space within your home. So when you walk into your home, if you could open up a drawer or closet and feel some level of uncomfortableness, or it's messy, or I shoved papers there, or whatever, then you're holding on to some shame, blame, or guilt. So by creating a sacred space, it's ridding yourself of all of that. So you keep only items around you that you thoroughly enjoy, and you keep items around you that are very organized and clear. So beginning to build a sacred space is actually a very beautiful, mindful, and meditative activity that you can take, as long as you're doing it in a way that you're not creating negativity for yourself. So I don't want you to walk around and say, oh, I got to do this and I don't like doing this. I mean, really have an intentional attitude and be happy with the small increments that you can give yourself. Don't feel like you have to do everything in one shot. So we're also going to talk about relational activities. So let's do that now. Support groups, support circles, being with friends that are very positive. Anything that's relational and intentional, not impulsive, is a beautiful way to be mindful. If you're in a relationship, a romantic relationship, just spending some quiet time with that person with no intention or idea or expectation at the end of that time together is very, very mindful and it's meditative. Being an activist in any way, shape, or form, as long as it's very mindful and well thought out, there's no impulsiveness, and it's positive for you and others and the greater good, that's beautiful. So, activism can take the form of recycling, or it can be peaceful protests. So, whatever it is for you, some people find philanthropy is their way of being an activist, or just in any way donating some of their time could be something. So all of these different ways that I just told you are beautiful ways in which you can be more mindful. So let's talk about also meditation as a mind-body medicine and how that can really help us. We can see changes in the body when we have stress. We can see changes in the body when we are very happy. So when we have stress, we know that the body can break down not only emotionally, but physically, for some people spiritually, and that can be very sudden with some people, or it can be even mild where you just get a headache, a little bit of a headache, or your shoulders feel tight. But that can really start to add up if your stress is chronic, and that can turn into really having some disordered mental states, a lack of hope. It could turn into some physical reactions and disease. So if we know that stress can do all of those types of things, we know that there are facets of being in a sense of healing brought through mindfulness and meditation that can bring the opposite effects, where we feel very vital, where we feel very happy, where we feel that we are empowered. So if chronic stress can lead to dysregulation of our different systems within our body, we know that that can result in either blunted or in elevated cortisol levels. So if you have a blunted cortisol level where it just sort of flattens out, maybe adrenal fatigue or a lot of different ways that this can happen, we know that there are certain diseases and certain mental states that are more prone to having a blunted cortisol level. I'm not going to go into them right now because I don't want anyone to self-diagnose or even for me to assume anything with your health. But we also know that with elevated cortisol, there's another set of different physical reactions and emotional states that can be the result of higher cortisol levels. Same thing, I'm not going to go into the details of that right now, but the disruption of either one of those or both of those, because any one person can fluctuate between them, that can be an acute reaction or a chronic reaction. Both of those cause additional stress on the body and on the mind. So some people experience swings in both, and that can be very, very detrimental. And if you are experiencing swings in your stress levels or swings in how you respond to stress, mindfulness and meditation are going to be very positive for you and very holistic in that it addresses the body and the mind. So in meditation practice, what we're actually doing is decentering and re-perceiving. So what that means is that we're looking at where our center is right now. And if you think that you're someone who is an anxious person, let's say, that's your center. And all we need to do is shift that center a little bit to a new center that's more balanced, where you're instead thinking, I'm a calm person and I'm a strong, empowered person that sometimes experiences anxiety. Then we shift it again, and then we can go to, I'm a calm, empowered person that can recognize anxiety, but I let it flow through me. So shifting the center of where you think you are is very empowering, and re-perceiving who you are and how you handle the world around you and what the world around you is also very empowering. We're born feeling that the world is ours and we're very innocent, and we feel initially on some level that our needs are going to be met. And it's only through the awareness that our needs are not being met, and then a sense of not trusting or putting walls up, that we start to feel that our perceptions might not be right. But as an adult, we can change our perceptions, and we can also cultivate and create a new life that is creating everything that we need, all of our needs and all of our desires for the most part, and attracting the very people, places, and things that will help us to be happier and more content. Because it's not always about being happy. Sometimes it's just about being content, and that's okay. So what we need to do for that is we need to interrupt stress. Now, that does not mean distract ourselves, because a lot of us have learned to distract ourselves or bury our emotions. And what we want to do is interrupt the stress, prevent stress, and also strengthen our resiliency. So even short term, this is very possible. You want to work up to about 20 minutes a day, or at least 20 minutes 3 times a week of mindfulness and meditation. But actually, if you're going to do anything, I would say the great thing to reach for is meditating every day or 3 times a week, and then being mindful at least 3 times a day. So being mindful is a little bit different, because you could be doing a lot of different things and be mindful. So for instance, you could wash your dishes and be very mindful, where meditation is going to be more about allowing thoughts and emotions and even externals to penetrate our mind, but yet being able to push them into a place that we can then cultivate them into something positive and sort of recycle them. So that's the difference between being mindful and meditation. You can do something and be meditative and mindful at the same time, or just mindful, or just meditating. So let's start with one technique that I really think is great for beginners, and it's also fun for someone who is more in the practice of mindfulness and meditation, because you could take this deeper if you want. So imagine that there's a candle in front of you, and you're looking at the flame. The first thing that I want you to do is be very mindful of what you see, the visualization that you see. Maybe that visualization is more about what the candle color looks like, or maybe it's about what the flame looks like. Maybe it's about the room in which you see the candle. So really go into the colors and sensations that you might experience if a candle were lit in front of you. For instance, is the candle really yellow, the flame? I mean, most people would say that yes, the candle flame is yellow, but maybe there's some blue, maybe there's some red or orange. So I want you to really get visual here. If you're having trouble being visual, meaning if you can't visualize this candle, don't worry about it. It's not about if you can visualize it, it's about the process of trying to visualize. So if you can visualize it, great, that's more enjoyable for you. If you can't visualize it, that's probably going to come to you in time. Again, this is a practice, it's not a destination. You're always going to be in the practice of mindfulness and meditation. It's never going to be perfect. So as you release to that imperfection, you actually will relax your body that much more. So imagining the different colors of that flame. Now I want you to go deeper, and I want you to imagine that the flame is moving only when you have different types of intrusive thoughts. Intrusive thoughts can be anything from, when is this going to be over, to I need to do something, or what's happening in the news, or what's happening in the world, or what I have to do tomorrow. Like, there's a lot of intrusive thoughts. Some of the thoughts might be about the past. Some of them might be worry about the future. And the future can even be within the next hour. So intrusive thoughts are anything that take you away from the here and now and being really content in the here and now. So what I want you to do in that moment is I want you to try to still the flame. Don't try to control the thoughts. Instead, control the visualization. When you have thoughts that are flowing in, for instance, what am I going to do in the next hour? Instead of thinking about what you're going to be doing in the next hour, allow that thought to be there. It's sort of coasting on the side, but now focus on that flame in front of you, and I want you to really calm that flame. Try to still the flame. And you'll notice that as you still the flame, the different thoughts that are around you do seem to float like mist away from you. Now they may come back, but they do float away, and then they might float back again, maybe even like an ocean wave coming from and to you. And so what I want you to think about is more just that flame. The more you can still the flame, the more you will notice that you are calmer. Now, you don't have to do this for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Do this for 5 seconds at a time, for 10 seconds at a time throughout the day. Try to make it part of your ritual, though, of waking up and going to bed. So first thing in the morning, before you even get out of bed, really focus on what kind of thoughts are coming toward you, or what memories from your dreams or yesterday or your whole life are coming towards you. And then I want you to calm the candle flame. And when it just calms just a little bit, then breathe into it and then go ahead and get up. And then before you go to sleep, what I want you to do is, again, think about the day, think about the thoughts, think about whatever it is that is coming towards you. Imagine that the flame is flickering as all of these thoughts are coming towards you, even physical tensions that you might have accumulated throughout the day, and then calm the flame to the best of your ability that you can. Understand that the flame doesn't have to stay calm in order for you to go to sleep or to get up in the morning. So you're just going to keep it calm for a couple of seconds, and then that's good enough. The more you practice this, and the more you notice that you can keep the flame more calm and still, the more you're inclined to want to do it longer and longer. Now it becomes sort of a fun challenge that you give yourself. So the longer that you do it, the better. So I would say when you work up to about 15 to 20 minutes a day, that would be a fantastic time to say, okay, I'm in this practice and now I want to go deeper. So when you can go deeper into the practice and you're adding your mindfulness, mindfully washing your dishes, mindfully walking, starting to have more intention and purpose in the here and now, and being okay with the here and now and not focusing on the past, not worrying about the future, then you can start to focus more on your breathing. Take big inhale and exhales. Allow your belly to move, your shoulders, and allow yourself to just feel the motion and the miracle of taking that inhale. We come into the world with an inhale and we leave with an exhale. Everything in the middle is just the quality of our breathing. So I want you to breathe in with a calm body, even if it doesn't feel calm. I want you to breathe out with a calm body. So let's just do this exercise together, and this will be our last exercise. And you can just kind of mindfully say this right after me, or just say it along with me if you've listened to it a few times. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my body. Breathing in, I follow my breath as it comes inward. Breathing out, I follow my breath as it goes outward. Breathing in, I am aware that life is a process. Breathing out, I am aware that life is a process. Breathing in, I am comfortable with myself and the world around me. Breathing out, I am comfortable with myself and the world around me. Breathing in, I see the candle in front of me. Breathing in, I see the flickering of the candle. Breathing in, I see the candle still. Breathing out, I see the candle in front of me. Breathing out, I see the candle still. Breathing out, I allow myself to blow the candle out. Now you'll notice the last 6 or few stanzas, basically. Now this one will be the last one that we do together. So this is a breathing exercise, and every time I say breathing in, I want you to take a very big inhale, and whenever I say breathing out, a very big exhale. So imagine when you're inhale, you're bringing the oxygen in and it's cleansing your body, and on the exhale, you're really releasing any tension, stress, or toxins that are emotional or physical that do not serve you purpose. Breathing in, I feel the calmness of my breath. Breathing out, I feel the calmness of my breath. Breathing in, I follow my breath in. Breathing out, I follow my breath out. Breathing in, I am aware that life is a process. Breathing out, I'm aware that life is a process. Breathing in, I accept myself. Breathing out, I accept myself. Breathing in, I see the candle flicker. Breathing out, I accept that the candle is flickering. Breathing in, I attempt to still the flame. Breathing out, I attempt to still the flame. Breathing in, I take in all that is beautiful. Breathing out, I blow out the flame. Bring your hands together in prayer, thumbs to the chest, lower the head down. Take a big inhale, exhale, roll the shoulders, and then you can either begin your day or you can rest into your evening. I hope to hear from you soon, and thank you for this time that we've been able to share together. Breathing in, I feel the calmness of my breath. Breathing out, I feel the calmness of my breath. Breathing in, I follow my breath in. Breathing out, I follow my breath out. Breathing in, I am aware that life is a process. Breathing out, I'm aware that life is a process. Breathing in, I accept myself. Breathing out, I accept myself. Breathing in, I see the candle flicker. Breathing out, I accept that the candle is flickering. Breathing in, I attempt to still the flame. Breathing out, I attempt to still the flame. Breathing in, I take in all that is beautiful. Breathing out, I blow out